Mark Fidrych died at 54, found trapped under his dump truck on his farm in 2009. His sudden death shocked baseball fans, but the real tragedy came decades earlier. A career-ending injury misdiagnosed as just a tired arm robbed us of seeing the bird soar. But behind the sadness lies a story about baseball's most authentic star, a man who brought pure joy back to America's game. The summer of 1976 belonged to Mark Fidrych, a lanky, curly-haired kid drafted in the 10th round by the Detroit Tigers. Nobody expected much from the 21-year-old rookie. That changed fast. After making the roster as a non-roster invitee, Fidrych stunned fans with his May 15th debut, a complete game victory allowing just 2 hits against Cleveland. But it wasn't just how he pitched, it was how he played. Fidrych talked to the baseball before throwing it. He got down on his knees between innings to groom the mound with his hands. He bounded off the field after good plays and thanked teammates with childlike enthusiasm. His nickname, the Bird, came from his resemblance to Big Bird from Sesame Street, tall, lanky, and topped with wild curly hair. Unlike other athletes who calculated their every move, Fidrych was genuine to the core. His mound rituals weren't staged publicity stunts. They were simply Mark being Mark. He played with the same pure joy that kids show in Sandlot games. This unfiltered enthusiasm felt like a breath of fresh air during a time when many Americans had grown cynical about their heroes. America fell hard for Mark Fidrych. In 1976, with the country still reeling from Vietnam and Watergate, the Bird offered something pure. He showed up to the ballpark in jeans and t-shirts. He had no agent. He drove a beat-up car. In an era of growing cynicism, here was a guy who simply loved playing baseball. The numbers backed up the hype. Fidrych finished his rookie season with 19 wins, a league-leading 2.34 ERA, and 24 complete games in just 29 starts. He started the All-Star game as a rookie, only the second first-year pitcher ever chosen for that honor. He finished second in Cy Young, voting to Jim Palmer. His national breakthrough came during a Monday Night Baseball game against the Yankees on June 28th. With the country watching on ABC, Fidrych pitched a complete game victory against the first-place Yankees. Fans refused to leave, calling him back from the clubhouse for curtain calls. Stadium workers had to switch the lights back on. No one wanted the magic to end. That one season, his magical presence generated an estimated extra $1 million in ticket sales. The struggling Tigers, who usually drew only 10,000 fans per game, saw packed stadiums whenever the Bird pitched. He landed on the cover of Rolling Stone. Television commercials followed. Baseball hadn't seen anything like him. Half of the extra ticket revenue came just from his 18 starts at Tiger Stadium, where fans packed the seats to see this pitching phenomenon with personality unlike any other. The first blow came in spring training of 1977. While shagging fly balls in the outfield, Fidrych tore cartilage in his left knee. It seemed like a small setback, but it delayed his much-anticipated season debut and subtly altered his pitching mechanics. Fans waited anxiously for his return, wondering if he could repeat the magic of his rookie year. When he first came back from the knee injury, hope soared. His first start was another complete game gem, suggesting that maybe the setback was just temporary. The Bird seemed ready to fly again, picking up right where he left off during his supernatural rookie season. Then came July 4th, 1977, the day everything changed. During a game against the Baltimore Orioles, Fidrych felt his arm go dead. Team doctors dismissed it as merely a tired arm or tendinitis. Nobody suspected the truth. The medical technology of the day simply wasn't advanced enough to properly diagnose what had really happened. Pushing through what he later described as crippling pain, Fidrych tried to keep pitching. "If you can't perform, you're gone. So you fool them as much as you can," he later admitted. "I had to. I saw what was going on in my life." Like many athletes of his era, there was immense pressure to play through pain. Admitting injury could mean the end of a career. He pitched only 2 more games that season. His arm never felt right again. Over the next 3 seasons, he managed just 16 more starts for Detroit, winning only 10 more major league games after his spectacular rookie year. The numbers tell a heartbreaking story of decline, from a 19-9 record with a 2.34 ERA in 1976 to just fragmentary appearances afterward. What no one knew, what wouldn't be diagnosed until 1985, 2 years after he had already been forced to retire at age 29, was that Fidrych had torn his rotator cuff. The damage was catastrophic. By the time famed sports doctor James Andrews finally found the real problem, years of pitching through the injury had made recovery impossible. By the late 70s, the magic had started to fade. But even if you couldn't catch him in his prime, there's still plenty of baseball joy to discover today. And that's where Fubo comes in. With live access to MLB games, team coverage, and more, it's the ultimate way to keep that baseball spark alive, just like the Bird did. Despite his career ending so abruptly, Mark Fidrych never complained. Not once. No bitterness, no what-ifs. Instead, he returned to his roots in Northborough, Massachusetts, bought a 107-acre farm, and built a quiet, happy life far from the spotlight. When the Boston Red Sox signed him to a minor league deal in 1982, fans still packed stadiums to see the Bird pitch for AAA Pawtucket. Even 6 years past his prime and struggling with his form, Fidrych's charm hadn't dimmed. After retiring in 1983, he embraced small-town life. He fixed up his farmhouse. He worked as a contractor, driving a 10-wheel dump truck hauling gravel and asphalt. He helped out at his mother-in-law's diner, Chet's Diner, which his daughter later took over. His former teammates marveled at how fame never changed him. Tigers shortstop Alan Trammell put it simply, he never changed. Hall of Famer Jim Palmer lamented baseball will miss him because he didn't have as long a career as everybody would have liked. Fidrych got married in 1986 to Ann, and they had a daughter, Jessica. On weekends, you'd find him at the local baseball field, teaching kids the game he still loved. When a reporter once asked who he'd invite to dinner if he could have anyone in the world, Fidrych answered, "My buddy and former Tigers teammate, Mickey Stanley, because he's never been to my house." In a sport increasingly dominated by corporate thinking and stat analysis, the Bird showed that success didn't need to be measured by career length or record-breaking numbers. His impact came from authenticity and unbridled joy. He touched more lives in one season than most players do in 20. Carney Lansford, who played against Fidrych, summed it up. "I don't think you'll ever see someone like that come around again. He was just great for the game. That's what the game needed, more guys like him. Colorful. He was one of a kind." On April 13, 2009, a friend found Mark Fidrych's body beneath his 10-wheel Mack dump truck at his farm.
Rich, the fun-loving pitcher who would routinely talk to the baseball, was found dead this afternoon, the victim of an apparent accident on his family farm in suburban Boston. Police say Fidrych was found by a family friend underneath a dump truck outside his home at around 2:30 this afternoon.
He was 54. The medical examiner determined he died from accidental asphyxiation when his clothing caught in the truck's power takeoff shaft while he was underneath doing maintenance. The baseball world mourned collectively. His death came within days of Angels rookie Nick Adenhart's passing, and on the same day as legendary Phillies broadcaster Harry Kalas died, adding to baseball's sense of loss. There's a cruel symmetry to Fidrych's story. His career was cut short by an unseen, misdiagnosed injury. His life ended through a hidden mechanical danger. Both times, something invisible took away what should have been his. Yes, he died at 54, but the way he lived, quietly, joyfully, forgotten by the sport that once adored him, that's what's truly sad. Baseball got only a fleeting glimpse of his talent. A knee injury, then a shoulder tear misdiagnosed until it was too late, robbed everyone of seeing what could have been. Yet in his brief time on baseball's biggest stage, the Bird gave us something rare and precious. In an era of growing cynicism, he showed that pure, childlike enthusiasm still had a place. He reminded jaded fans why they fell in love with the game in the first place. He proved that authenticity matters more than longevity. Mark Fidrych's career statistics show 29 wins and 19 losses, but his impact can't be measured in numbers. It lives in the memories of anyone lucky enough to see him play, talking to the baseball, grooming the mound, bouncing around the field with unbridled joy. That's the story of Mark Fidrych. Unforgettable, irreplaceable, and gone too soon. Hit that like if you remember the Bird and drop a comment sharing your favorite memory. See you next time.